Campa Cola, the iconic brand familiar to the aspirational India of 80s and 90s, has found a new parent in Reliance Industries. In a second innings of sorts, it is eyeing revenge, taking on Coca-Cola and Thumbs Up, the same brands that forced it out of the market. Campa Cola might not strike a chord with the millennials, but it once dominated the soft drinks market. In the auto space, Java and its successor Yezdi have been revived. Bajaj would be bringing back its Chetak scooter in a new electric model. Luna's revival in an electric avatar is also on the cards. According to reports, Lohia Machines or LML is also looking for a comeback with a new line of electric vehicles by leveraging the erstwhile India manufacturing unit of Harley-Davidson. A common thread running through all the revived brands or the ones eyeing a comeback is nostalgia. Retro touch is a powerful business strategy and businesses use it as a marketing tool to get a head start. An old brand that once carried large consumer equity gives an edge in the market instead of building fresh equity for a new brand and starting from scratch. The revival of iconic brands is not new. On popular demand, Parle relaunched the Roller Cola brand in 2019, resembling the vintage red, blue, and white packaging. How can one not talk about the revival of Volkswagen's most famous Beetle? Developed in the 1930s, the car saw its peak sales in the 1960s. Having lost its way in the 1970s, a revived version was launched in the 1990s. Nostalgia is a good way to make a head start, but does it turn into sales?
Nostalgia is a good starting point. It's a good way to rekindle memories of a past era, and brands have used it successfully. Starting point, there's no guarantee that nostalgia will bring in sales. But like I said, it's as opposed to starting from zero, you already have a set of consumers who are familiar with the brand, right? Not everyone understands change of ownership, but recognize a brand and they believe it brings back certain memories, certain values, certain thoughts, certain aspirations. So in that sense, nostalgia ensures a brand has a good takeoff. How it's sustained, what kind of sales it brings in, what kind of revenues it pulls is a function of the other things that the new brand owners can do, right? What kind of communication they put in, what are the new brand values, what are the product attributes, what is something that they can do to the brand. I think that will play a key role.
Revival of old brands is not that easy. If we look at the past experiences, only a few revival attempts have been successful. Volkswagen has pulled the plug again on Beetle as the speed waned even after revival. Santosh Desai, CEO of Future Brands, says very often revival of brands evoke initial interest, but sustaining it into long-term volumes is always a challenge. Unless a new cultural relevance is created and the product is appealing to the contemporary times, residual equity can only take you that far. Experts say the most important aspect of a brand revival is positive memories of the old brand. If we take the case of Campa Cola, Reliance, as part of its entry into the FMCG space, is trying to use vivid and fond memories of the brand to break into the market. Campa Cola lost out due to competition and its exit was not controversial and hence could exude some positive memories. However, Campa Cola was a symbol for aspirational modern India in the 80s, and in today's age, it might not be aspirational anymore. Hence, there may be a need for a different communication strategy to reconnect with the millennials. Further, for any brand revival that is dead, the brand value should have some connection with the current generation, and brand recollection value also helps. All these factors act as a good starting point, and then it all depends on how the brand is nurtured and taken forward.
The clear point is that nostalgia is not equal to sales. Why do I say it? I simply say it because when I look at the examples of brands which have been revived, heritage brands which have been gone after and revived after a period of being off the rack, what really happens is sales do not return. One of the key aspects is a complete due diligence and understanding of what that brand meant, what it represented, what its brand positioning was, and whether that brand positioning was correct for that generation or whether that's correct for today's generation. So if you ask me, it's extremely important for brand revival people to pay attention to brand positioning. Nothing is more important than brand positioning. When you brand position an old brand for a new market, there are 20 different things you need to do. So are you going to be attempting those 20 different things? That's the key question I'd like to ask maybe Campa Cola, because it's extremely important to ensure that whatever you launch is insight based. And this insight is today's insight, linking it umbilically back into the insight of those many years ago.
Using old brand equity as business strategy works, but only to a certain extent. This strategy alone might not bring bumper sales as seen in many cases. Due diligence, creative communication, and product attributes relevant to the current times are key. Understanding what the brand meant in older times and whether the brand positioning is appealing for contemporary times also helps.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.